I'm a personal injury lawyer, and I actually am an injury victim. When I was a little girl, I was a victim of a dog bite. And I went through that, and of course it's a life-changing experience. It kind of shaped who I grew up to be. And I always just wanted to help other people fight for their rights, and it was just something that always, it was always a passion of mine.
Are you at a crossroads with your bank? With ClickSwitch, find and move your recurring transactions to Amplify Credit Union in just 90 seconds. That's less time than it takes to cross Congress Avenue. Make the switch to fee-free banking and never pay another bank fee again with ClickSwitch from Amplify Credit Union.
Welcome to the Women of Austin podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Hoffman. Today, our guest is the founder and owner of Ramos James Law and one of our members, attorney Laura Ramos James. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I wanted to talk to you and get to know you on this show because you told me your personal story when we first met, and I just thought that it was so inspiring and wonderful that I wanted to share it with our audience.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right. Well, first, let's do a little warm up and let everyone know something people would be surprised to know about you.
Yeah, so most people know I'm a mom. So, I have two little girls, but I actually never wanted kids. I grew up never wanting kids. I always wanted to be, be a lawyer and focus on that. And then it wasn't until I got married and my husband and I traveled a little bit, and we were having dinners and stuff. And then it was like, okay, so what else? What else is there? And then we started wanting kids, and now I'm crazy about them, of course. But I never, for 30-something years, never wanted kids.
Oh my gosh. Because I know you as a mom. So that's, wow. Okay. Well, I want to get back to that and talk about what it's like having your career and the kids. But first, tell us how you came to own a law firm.
Yeah, so I guess I would say probably the main driving person to make it happen was my husband. I became a lawyer and had worked for people before, and he just could tell that it was never a perfect fit, and I was never happy. And I always had kind of like the entrepreneurial gene in me, but I never could quite figure out if a business would be something, like having a business would be something I would want to do, because I loved being a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of helped me dig deep and figure out that I was just not going to be a good employee working for somebody and making someone else's dream come true, because mine was kind of always going to be in the background. And so, yeah, he helped me figure that out.
I like how you said your dream was always going to be in the background. And how did you get to realize that you had something going on in the background even?
Yeah, so we talked about how I'm an injury victim. Mm-hmm. So I'm a personal injury lawyer for those of your members of your audience that don't know. Within being a lawyer, I'm a personal injury lawyer, and I actually am an injury victim. When I was a little girl, I was a victim of a dog bite. And I went through that, and, of course it's a life-changing experience. It kind of shaped who I grew up to be. And I always just wanted to help other people fight for their rights and things that I guess they maybe didn't know they had a right to have, or kind of enforce their rights. It was just something that always, it was always a passion of mine. And doing it for myself, like being my own boss and being my own employer, and the person that determined like what cases I could take and was or am passionate about them. That was important for me.
That's true. I didn't think about that. You get to decide what cases you do and don't take. How do you decide? Is that tough for you?
That is very tough because there are incredibly sad cases where, most injury cases are sad, but some are, are catastrophic injuries or death. And many times, you just want to help people, even though many times there isn't really a viable case. And I've actually, I've gotten creative with crafting some cases and situations where it was kind of questionable, and other law firms declined to take those cases. But I just felt so, I guess I could really see myself in the shoes of the victim, and just really wanted to help them and made a case out of something. But, many times there just isn't. So it is tough to decline those where there's just no legal avenue for them.
Yeah, that must be tough. How do you deal with the, not just that, but the emotions and having to hear about all these things, especially as a mother, that happen to people?
Yeah, that's one of the toughest parts of my job, I would say. Not really the legal part, but how to deal with someone else's pain. Because as a victim myself, or a survivor, however you choose to identify yourself, when you go through something like that, and you see it in someone else, and you know that they're suffering, or that somebody has wronged them, and you want to make it right for them. It is very tough, but I think for me, having a team of people that can help, you and I were talking earlier about how the law firm has grown, and how it used to be, me and my laptop, and now I have, I'm thankful to have, lucky to have a team of people, lawyers, paralegals, legal assistants, and so I can take more cases than just I would be able to handle on my own. And also many times, clients need to hear from someone else, not just me, but maybe, someone else in my team to kind of, I guess, help them understand the big picture and things like that. So I think having a good team has been super important.
I bet you're really fun to work for.
Then what?
I bet you're really fun to work for.
Oh, that's very sweet.
I bet that you're, just your energy and how you look at things, and your compassion and your big heart really shows. So
thanks.
I admire that a lot.
Thank you. My colleagues who are females in the legal field and in the personal injury field have to overcome that, that, I guess, misconception of like, if you're friendly, compassionate, nice, then, you're not going to fight as hard, or you're going to, they can steamroll you. And, you have to kind of show them that that's not going to happen.
Women of Austin would like to thank our community sponsors. Joel Richardson and team, your Austin mortgage lender. Visit myfinanceteam.com. Dave's Ultimate Automotive. Visit Dave's Ultimate Automotive and become a part of the Dave's family today. Warren Callion Maddox, Attorneys at Law, a proud minority and women-owned business enterprise. Today we're shooting at 3100 Thousand Oaks Drive, a listing by Mike Magavero and Noah Levy of the Agency Austin. This 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom dream luxury home offers the epitome of elegant living and superior craftsmanship. The spacious and open floor plan is designed to embrace both comfort and sophistication, perfect for entertaining guests and creating lasting memories with your loved ones. The gourmet kitchen effortlessly flows into the formal dining area where you can enjoy gourmet meals in style, as well as the family room. Do not miss a beat. The outdoor living spaces are equally impressive, featuring a stunning pool and spa, complete with a water feature, an outdoor kitchen, and a screened-in porch, all backing to a greenbelt. making it an idyllic setting for entertaining. Your backyard oasis exudes both a serene and private setting and feels like you're outside of the city, even though you're just minutes from downtown. You can learn more about this gorgeous home and the Agency Austin at the link in the show notes. Okay, so I want to go back to, how old were you when you got injured?
I was 3.
Okay, and then where were you living? Where'd you grow up?
In Mexico. That's
Yes.
right.
Okay, so how'd you get from Mexico? You came here for school. Tell me again so everyone could know, because I love it.
Yeah, so I actually came, I wanted to be a lawyer my whole life, and I applied to go to law school in Mexico and came here. I guess it's not, I wouldn't say it's standard, but some people do go and study abroad 1 year to learn English when you live in Mexico or South America or whatnot. And so I came as an exchange student for a year, but with the thought that I was going to go back and be a lawyer in Mexico. But once I was here, I realized that the reality is I was going to go back to Mexico where there are no jury trials. And
Wait, what?
So now there are, but
there weren't?
no, you used to go in front of a judge, and you've probably heard this. There's a lot of corruption and things like that. So things were in front of a judge, and that was something that I never thought could really bring justice to someone. I think that a jury of your peers could actually hear and have the background, and I guess it'd be the right composition of people to determine if you win or lose, or if you're in the right or not. And so when I was here, I learned that, in the movies that you see jury trials and stuff, that's from here. That's not really how it is over there. And so that really, I think, was one of the deciding factors that I did want to, I wanted to stay here, or try to. And so then I ended up going to college here, and then law school, and then that's that's that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. I still can't get over that. Okay, but they have jury trials now.
They do. And
Okay.
I think it's only for criminal cases. And so what I do is not in the criminal world. So even if I had stayed and they do have jury trials now, I still wouldn't have the opportunity to help my clients the way I want to help them.
Yeah. Wow. I need to read more. I need to read other things, apparently. Well, I know what's going on in Austin, obviously. Yeah. Okay, so I want to get back to your husband. So I love how encouraging and motivating he was is for you. Do you guys talk about work all the time when you get home, or are you able to do the work-life balance? Because I know that's tough, and I'd love to hear you guys. I mean, you were a business owner. It's hard not to always be thinking and talking about your business.
That's right. And we always say that the law firm was really our firstborn. And we do talk about work all the time, and the girls. But when you talk about balance, I've actually talked to some friends about this before who own businesses, and how I feel like there is the mistaken belief that balance means 50-50, like 50% to your kids or your household, and then 50% to your business. And that's the balance that everyone should be aiming for when you have a business and you have your working parent. But I think in reality, most business owners who are parents can probably agree that it ends up being just a moving scale, that there are days that you can't talk to me about the law firm because my little girl's sick, and nothing else matters. And the law firm is is in the back burner for that day. And there are times that I have a hearing, and I'm gonna have to get childcare, and my husband's gonna have to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting at home. And so the balance never quite has to look that way, like 50-50. It's just it varies a whole bunch. But thankfully, my husband understands that and is on board with me and supports the fact that, the law firm is always there. It's just some days it's more important than others.
That makes sense. That's a real good way to look at it. It sounds like you guys do some good teamwork.
Thanks.
Now, do you feel that, because I was just saying, oh, I'd love to work for you. It looks like so much fun. But you're like, you're a badass attorney. And so I just wonder if you ever get underestimated because, when you're a woman, and I know it's male dominated. Can you say it's male dominated?
Absolutely.
It's male dominated, and your presence is just so, like, to me, calming. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, so it is male dominated, sadly, still. Just the legal field overall is, even though increasingly there are more women, thanks to so many great pathfinders that have, opened the road for people like me. But within the legal field, litigation and personal injury, what I do is heavily male dominated. And so because of that, you've seen the billboards and things like that
Everywhere.
and everyone has, and there's that, I think there's that image of the plaintiff's lawyer, the personal injury bulldog, and this aggressive guy who's gonna fight insurance companies, and a woman can do it in her own way, and just as successfully or more. And so it is something that you do go up against. My colleagues who are females in the legal field and in the personal injury field have to overcome that, that, I guess, misconception of, like, if you're friendly, compassionate, nice, then, you're not going to fight as hard, or you're going to, they can steamroll you, and, you have to kind of show them that that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I'm sure some of them have figured it out by now if they're, like, going against you.
Hopefully.
Yes. Oh, I like that compassion keeps coming up too. And I just think that when something happens where you need to hire a personal injury attorney, you don't have time to think, really. You just do. So I'm glad to know you now. I hope I don't need you in that capacity ever. But you would want someone, or I would at least, and I feel like a lot of our audience would, someone with compassion and someone you can actually talk to. And that leads me to my next question. Do you feel like you have to be also sort of like a counselor to your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be. You have to be, but always kind of reminding them that your expertise lies in the legal field, and that you put all your legal experience at their service. And at the end of the day, if you as an attorney identify that this is outside your field, you do have to or you should connect them with the right medical professional if it ends up being something where they need to talk to an actual counselor or a psychologist or psychiatrist. And so, that's one of the cool things about doing personal injury is that you get exposed to all these, I guess, areas of medicine, and kind of get to see, if can your network be put at the service of your clients, and can you connect them to people that can help them so they can fully recover, not just physically, but emotionally. Yeah.
Man, I love that you just keeps getting better. Like, because it's not, I still have that image of, like, the big dude on the billboard, or, who are like 777 trucks or whatever. You know what I mean? Those ads. Yeah. And so this is just really fascinating to me because it's like a whole new way to look at it past what's always being put in our face. And I think that's really, special. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And one thing that I want to definitely make sure that everybody who's listening knows, because I did not know this, if you could share what to do when you get in an accident and there's an injury, because I didn't know. Who do you call first?
Yeah, so most people don't know. You're in shock. And, you think if you're driving your car, you have insurance, so you think, I'm going to call either my insurance company or the insurance for the other side or my insurance agent. but we always recommend that they call a personal injury lawyer. I mean, call me.
Yes.
But yeah, call a lawyer before you talk to any insurance company, even your own, because they're recording everything you say. So.
Yeah, I saved your number in my phone, and I just think that that's really important. And there was one more thing that you told me that I think was also something to keep in mind, because I am so guilty of it. Like I could be bleeding and someone would come and be like, "Hey, how are you?" And if it was someone I didn't know or I thought maybe was an authority figure or they were nice, I'd be like, "I'm fine." And then I'd be like, "Oh, actually, I might need 6 stitches." But just it's my natural reaction to be like, "Fine."
Yeah, exactly. So usually insurance companies, they obviously are in the business of covering losses, and they talk to injury victims all the time, and they know what questions to ask. And for the most part, they'll try to be pleasant and try to elicit a good response. "Oh, I'm so sorry this happened to you. How are you doing?" And then you'll say, "Oh, you feel so like, just warm and fuzzy, like they care about me." So you'll say, "Oh, I'm fine." And the reality is, if they are the insurance company for the other side or your own, and they're recording, what's going to happen is they have an interest that's adverse to yours, and later on they're going to, you try to recover for your injuries, and you give them medical bills and whatnot. And if you need a surgery or something like that, they'll say, "But I talked to you and you were fine. Nothing was wrong with you." And so how do you talk to a lawyer? A lawyer would have said, "I'm going to communicate with them, not you, because you don't need to be answering these questions that they're going to try to twist to make it sound like you're not heard."
That is crazy, but very, very, very good to know. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And we are almost out of time. This was so wonderful sitting down and getting to talk to you. And I know we'll be seeing you at our events and doing a lot of things. So I'm really excited about that.
So am I.
But I wanted to give you a chance to say something to anyone who might be listening, who might want to go out on their own, like you did when you were working and you wanted to start your own thing, maybe some motivation or something you learned. If you could give us a quick little something, that would be really great.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's a lot of fear in going out on your own and opening your own business, and rightfully so. I mean, you are usually giving up a steady paycheck, and things are scary, and especially if you have, dependents, if you have a spouse or if you have kids. And the reality is, you see successful people and you think, the jump between me being here, barely going to start, or I'm in the beginning stages, and being successful is so big that for me to get there, I may never get there. And what I can share from my perspective is, even when you're doing well, there's always the challenges of, having a business, having a home. There's guilt, there's losses, there are things that are very tough, but they're doable. They're absolutely doable. And, even if something looks very shiny on the outside, there's blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. And so if you're yourself experiencing some challenges and difficulties and, in starting a business, and like, "Oh, I don't have enough money," or clients or things like that, most business owners, if not all, have gone through it. And seeming successful or looking like you have it all together doesn't mean that's true. It means that you are figuring it out. And so I really encourage people, and women especially, to go out on their own, open their own business, and it's so fulfilling, and just, the best thing that I've done other than have my family.
Yes. Oh, well said. Well, that is the perfect way to end it, and that is great advice. Thank you so much.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for watching today. If you want to learn more about Laura Ramos James, we'll put the information in the show notes. We hope to see you next time. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Women of Austin podcast. A new episode premieres twice a month right here on the Women of Austin channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you never miss an episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at women_of_Austin. My name is Mindy Hoffman. I hope you'll join us for our next episode of the Women of Austin podcast.